Hello folks, welcome back to another episode of the Liverpool Complete Playthrough Series, Episode 5. Welcome back. Now last time out then we played West Ham in our Premier League game, our first Premier League game of the season. We have another one of those coming up today against Burnley. That'll be sort of the end of today's episode. But for now, let's check out then what's been going on with the squad. We left it last time with a decision on Jason Derulo essentially. And we delayed it for a week. So either sort of at the end of today's episode or at the start of next episode, we'll be deciding what to do with it. It's a bit of a conundrum. It still is a bit of a conundrum. We've got obviously Dijon and Lovren, who's picked up a little bit of an injury and will hopefully maybe be available for the game later on. If not, we're going to have to bring in someone like Ragnar Klavan, which isn't ideal at any stage ever. Now, I've been reading the comment section on the videos. These, like, for example, the videos have gone up now, so you've seen a few of them, and a lot of people are saying, sort your left-back situation out. We currently have Alberto Moreno worth 27 million at the back, and pretty much everyone thinks we should bring in somebody different to play there. And now, when he's valued at 27 million, there's a temptation to offer him out and see if anybody's interested. And I think that is what we're going to do straight away today. Is not transfer list him, but just for the value that he's worth, see if anybody's interested, and then maybe reinvest some of that money into a new signing. Of course, we still have quite a lot of money to spend as well. If we take a look at that, then 80 million still to spend. Obviously, a few transfers we've missed out on, a few that we can still try and bring in, and of course, we've already brought in Keita Balde, who a lot of people have pointed out is my replacement for Sadio Mane, who's off at the African Cup of Nations, with Keita Balde, who will also be off at the African Cup of Nations. So it's a bit embarrassing, and yeah, I don't know if I ever really addressed that, but that's what I've done now, so we'll just have to sit and live with it. Okay, games coming up then, coming up against Burnley, who in real life have caused a few issues for Liverpool. Their first game of the season, they lost 1-0. That was against, who was it? Against Leicester. Okay, so Leicester started the season better than they did in real life. So we'll continue through and see what happens. Now, Alberto Moreno is clearly, he's realised we've offered him out, and he's got an abysmal morale now, which isn't very good. I'm concerned that they're trying to force me out of the club by touting my services around to generate interest. He knows what I'm up to, at least, at the very least. I have so many options in that position. I just can't find room for you, unfortunately, which is just not true. He wants to fight for his place. I love the fact it gives me some things to say. Look, this is a problem. You've been too weak in the tackle for this level, which is strange when he's a Premier League defender. I set my teams up to build from the back, and I'm afraid your distribution hasn't been good enough for my system. What is his passing? 13. It's not actually that bad, is it really? Oh no, we've lost the conversation. You've been beaten too easily in the air, and as a defender we rely on you to win your aerial battles. He's not good at heading, is he? Oh, 7 heading. Let's just say that. That can be our excuse, I think. That's the best thing to say. And that's not good enough. You've handled this badly, and I expect the issue to escalate very quickly. Oh, that sounds like a threat, didn't it? And I don't take well to those, Alberto. So let's see what happens. No offers for Alberto Moreno. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit surprised. No one's even remotely interested. So we'll lower it down to 22 million, transfer list him, and see what happens. We'll just knock 5 million off and transfer list him and see if anybody bites. If not, he sticks around, and for now, James Milner is the option. Of course, what we'll do then is look at some other left-back options. It was always a position that I thought in real life Liverpool needed to strengthen. No one cares about Alberto Moreno. It now makes sense as to why we didn't sell him in real life, because nobody wants him. In terms of the options of players that I'm told are interested, there's one or two good ones in there. Ricardo Rodriguez is probably the one that stands out. 23-year-old Swiss defender. Again, marking isn't very good though. No left-backs have good marking. His heading also isn't that much better than Moreno. So in reality, you're not getting a player that much better. His crossing is far better though. And some of his mental stats are really, really good, as are some of his physicals. So I don't know if he's the option. He's quite similar defensively to Moreno. A player that I've looked at before and thought about before is Sead Kozolanak. Now, he looks pretty much the finished article. 23 years of age, 7.5 million from Schalke. 13 heading, decent long throws as well. Marking and tackling is very good, great work rate. Some of his mental attributes, though, are a little bit average. Should we compare them to Moreno's? Let's see how he stacks up against him. If we look at the attributes there, then you can see Moreno overall probably just has the edge on some of the key ones. It's pretty close though. Like, they're very back. As you can see, they're very, very back and forth. Physically, you'd probably give it to Seed. He's probably got it a little bit, and then technically, I mean, defensively he's far better, but are we getting that much of an upgrade? And I think if we're going to try and buy a left-back in, then we want it to be a significant upgrade. Otherwise, is it really worth the money? If we take a look at the players that aren't necessarily interested, but we might be able to go after someone like Jonas Hector. Like that would be a guy who's very well rounded, time to grow as well. Again, though, is he that much better than Moreno? I feel like, again, this is something that we need to compare. And again, it's very back and forth mentally. I would say that Hector's far better. I think with the money you've got to spend, it doesn't have to be limited to the players that are just interested. I actually feel like we could probably throw money at a lot of players and get someone in. Someone like Kurzawa from PSG would be, in my opinion, would be a real upgrade. He's on quite a lot of money there at PSG and probably won't want to sign. Anyone else here that I like the look of? This is certainly a position, I think, before the end of the window. I've got a few episodes still while we're still in the January, so it's something to think about. Leave your suggestions then in the comment section. Left backs, who do you think we should go for? Someone like Alexandro from Juventus, can we prime away from there? Cost a lot of money, but he would be a real upgrade, wouldn't he? Or someone like Bernat. I think a few people suggested him before, actually, in the comment section. We will suggest terms, see what they say. 34 million for Bernat, who defensively, again, is questionable. Comment section, let me know. What would you do in the left-back role? Stick with Moreno, maybe until the January, and look to bring someone in. Of course, we're not in Europe, so there is an option there. Or try and get someone to replace him, or stick with him. I mean, there's a few options there. Right, as we go forward then, in towards the next Premier League game against Burnley, I think team-wise, we're going to stick with how things are right now. We're going to see how we get on today with the squad we've got, try and identify those weaknesses a little bit more than we have been doing. Guduric is constantly offered loan deals, but never seems... Well, I'm never accepting them, essentially. Sean Dyche is apparently winning a lot of plaudits for having such an abundance of domestic players at his disposal. He's got no choice, have you though, Sean? I won't do this press conference. Oh, do I do this press conference? No, we'll leave it for now. It's only Burnley, isn't it? That is offensive for any Burnley fans out there. That was offensive. Again, the only issue is that will Dejan Lovren be fit? He's got a day left. I guess we'll check on his fitness before the game. Our tactical familiarity is still a little bit low, and that's obviously going to take some time to develop and become a lot more fluid, a lot more healthy. A few people suggesting that we sell Divock Origi, who's a player that is an interesting case, really. Again, he's a striker that we're not really fitting in to the team because we're not playing a striker. I guess my fear is that we've already sold Daniel Sturridge, we've got Danny Ings. If we were to change the system at some point, and maybe through injury, we don't necessarily then have the 4 players across the front line, and we have to play a striker, Divock Origi is my preferred go-to option ahead of Danny Ings, so I don't think selling him is necessarily the right option, and of course he can still play on that left-hand side. I still want to have a little bit of squad depth for cup competitions, and Divock Origi really does play a part in that, as well as players like Milner and Wijnaldum, and so, you know, I've got to think long-term that while it's great to get Origi out to being a starter, we're already quite well set in that front line. Like Coutinho, Firmino, Mane and Balde are all really good players, and I don't really want to have to change those to sort of fit Origi in, because I think they're all slightly better. One thing I do want to do in this episode, though, something I haven't done yet, is on the old training, is to train Philippe Coutinho to play in the centre. I think I prefer to have him as a shadow striker in the centre, learning to play that position. Roberto Firmino's already relatively good at it, so I don't necessarily think we should have to train him there. We will train him there anyway, actually. I think it's probably worth doing. It's not quite complete there. Very, very close. Not quite, though. And Emre Can, I do want to train him to play a slightly more defensive role in the centre of midfield as well. So there are a few bits and pieces I really wanted to sort out. Central midfielder, but I guess more of a ball winner. It's difficult, really. He's natural in both, but I'd quite like to train him playing slightly. I guess central midfielder is his weakest area, and that's what we're going to play him as. So that's what we'll try and get out of him. May well change it up to a deep line playmaker at some point, because with the ball at his feet, he is decent, 14 passing, but I want to see some of those attributes rise before we can certainly think, okay, he's a complete player. He can play in there as a regista, as a playmaker, that sort of thing. So, actually, do we just put him in there as that now? I feel like actually he's probably more suited to it. So why change it? And in fact, because of that, we'll keep him training on sort of a schedule and a regime suited to this. Or do we try and broaden his horizons? Do we try and train him in a more advanced area? Maybe. I guess advanced playmaker isn't too far away from what he already does. And he's not the quickest, but it'd be quite good in Garnch, actually, you think about Emre Can. I wonder. I think as positionally, that's something very different, but it'd be quite good at it. Let's have a look at the way it would look if you were to do it. Like, in terms of attributes, it's got all the mental and technical attributes you need to play that sort of role. Decision making is probably the only one that you look at and go, not quite good enough. It'd be a interesting little Enganche with Emre Can. Never seen that done with him, but something we could potentially look at. Just notice there, by the way, the wanted clubs, Arsenal, City, PSG, Barcelona and Real Madrid. A wanted man, someone that we've got to try and keep at the club or sell for a massive amount of money. Right, we're heading closer to the Burnley game. Let's see then what our team is going to look like. We're about a day away as we continue through. A few players still looking for match fitness, and we'll give that to them. Grujic, Ojo and Karius being those guys. Another loan offer, or two loan offers, Blackburn and Lorient for Grujic again. Not happening this time around, I'm afraid. He's the kind of player I really want to get involved, really, in the cup games that are coming up, potentially next episode against Fulham. And actually, I want to ask you this now. Obviously, the videos would be slightly longer, but that might be the sort of thing you're interested in. But would you like me to put the League Cup games in with a Premier League game? That's kind of what I'm asking. Or would you like to see them focused on, because it's going to be a completely different set of players, and we can look at how we develop some of the younger players within that. So let me know, comment section. I won't record until you've let me know, which makes things a little bit tricky. But yeah, comment section, let me know. Do you want to see them singularly or in a Premier League episode? Right, we're about halfway through today's episode, hopefully. So the Burnley game coming up. Lovren still isn't fully fit for this, so I think Ragnar Klavan is the player we bring in. Lucas would obviously be an option. He's played there for Liverpool in the past, but probably isn't quite fit enough to fit in today. Ojo's going to come onto the bench as well, which means defensively there is a little bit of a problem, and some of the players that have been getting match fitness aren't fully fit for today's game. Would come on as replacements and do okay, but all in all, not great. Alberto Moreno's had a bid. Oh wow, he's had loads of loan offers that somehow I didn't see. Okay. Now that is interesting. Would you loan Moreno out in hope that you'd get a sale afterwards? Oh, that is an interesting proposal for someone like Moreno. Let's look at this Fenerbahce offer. 300,000 playing monthly fee. So we'd be getting money for him, and they're paying 70% of their wages, of his wages. That's not too bad, you know. We won't accept that straight away. We'll think about it. We'll see how he fares. I think he starts today's game, of course. So we'll see how he gets on. If he plays badly, he'll be off to Turkey. But if he plays well, we'll keep him around for a bit longer. So after the draw in the first game against West Ham, we have the game today against Burnley. They're playing a 4-2-2. It's interesting. It's like a more defensive set version of the 4-2-3-1. Joey Barton and Stephen Defoe sat in the middle there. You've got Brady on the left. You've got Vokes up front, who while it shouldn't be that threatening, with George Boyd in behind could cause a few problems. Neither players look like they should be really good, but both of which can cause a problem. It should be a team, though, that we beat relatively easily. It's interesting to me that they've got Andre Gray on the bench, one of their more threatening players. So we'll see how we get on. Of course, we're playing the 4-2-4 formation. The players should be familiar to you by now, so we won't run you through the team. Team talk-wise, now, this is interesting. Do you want to try and encourage a relaxed performance, like a sort of to play an actual game, or do you want to be like, look, we're the better team here, let's do the business? I'm going to say go out there, relax, play an actual game, the result will come. I'm going to try and stay calm as well, assertively calm, say, look, come on, we've got control of this. The defence seem happy, no one else, they've listened keenly, which, you know, if you've been watching me for a while, I don't really think that means all that much. Okay, start the game then. In we go. We'll flick it onto 3D because I think most people thought that it was different. It was nice to have a change, really. So we'll put it in 3D and watch the game as it develops. We'll minimise the league table if we do that, though, and we'll just keep the match stats on that right-hand side. Let's see then. 3D. Are we ever going to see it? Here we go. We'll have to slow it down just a touch. Otherwise, it's a little bit too hectic for my eyes, which is a strange sentence to say as an adult. Right then, let's see how we get on. Daniel Sturridge just scored. Did he score in the first game as well? That would be... Oh, he did. Oh, no. He scored 2 already in his first game for Tottenham. Oh, he's never been that good for me on Football Manager, generally. So, a few people thought it was a mistake to sell him to a rival, but we've done it now as we come forward here. Coutinho forward to Mane. Sadio Mane shot on goal. Heaton with a save. Oh, but it's deflected in or cannoned in. I think Burnley try and clear it. Sadio Mane on this right side. It hits him. Goes into the back of the net. Tom Heaton beaten. And we take a 1-0 lead. If we take a look at it again then, Mane played through. Really nice ball slipped through to him. Save from Heaton. Ben Mee smashes it against Sadio Mane. And it goes into the back of the net. And Burnley, a bit unfortunate really, find themselves behind in the game as Zlatan scores for Manchester United away at home to Arsenal, which is interesting, as Balde comes forward with the ball. Where is he going to go? Roberto Firmino on it now. He's got a player in front of him. Coutinho finds him. Shot on goal. Tom Heaton saves. And interesting. Okay, good start to the game. Tom Heaton with a lovely little kick. And we'll see. We'll see what happens here. So far, so good. I don't think there's going to be a highlight before half-time, which is comforting, I'll say that much. Team talk then, passionately say things are going well, but I know you're capable of even better. I think that should G up the team relatively well. Again, we'll go for the sort of more calm approach when it comes to everyone else. You weren't that bad in the first half, but actually, I'm very happy with your solid defensive work. They seem to quite like that. We'll say the same thing about the midfield, and everyone seems happy. When I think about the team talks go far better. Who knew? Who knew that would be a thing? As Alberto Moreno plays it forward into Emre Can. Defensively so far, we look pretty good then. In terms of possession, it's actually been very, very even, which is surprising. And we haven't had, our pass completions are not as high as I'd like it to be. If you've been watching the road trip series, you know that's something I bang on about quite often, is how well we're connecting with our passes. So far, so good though. The time is ticking down. Starting to think about a few changes. Emre Can is struggling in the middle. Of course, someone like Milner could come on and do a pretty good job in the middle. That might be an option for us in the next sort of 5 to 10 minutes. And Mignolet is building from the back. Matip forward to Coutinho. And it's interesting to see how those forward players intertwine with one another. Henderson now breaking forward a little bit. Back to Emre Can, obviously in this playmaker area. We're hoping he creates a few things. As Henderson nods on, back across goal. Keita, oh, it's a strike at goal. Doesn't quite find the back of the net though. Close, very, very close. Okay, 15 minutes to go. Time's ticked down a little bit quicker than I was expecting. Milner is going to come on then for Emre Can. And I think Henderson's slightly more creative of the two in midfield, so we'll bring Henderson across to the deep line playmaker role, put Milner in the box-to-box role. He gets up and down very, very well. Athletic player is James Milner, so that's what we'll do. And everything else largely at this stage needs to stay the same. We're still on control. There's about, I don't know, there's about 10 minutes left to go. Do we think about going to the more counter-attacking style? Are Burnley going to push on a little bit? I mean, have they ended the game the way they started it? That could be interesting. They are staying exactly as it was. Hendricks come on for them instead of Boyd, but they haven't made any major changes as... Oh no. Okay, they're going forward with it. Defour lays it off to Arnfield. Ball played in. Milner clears, and now the counter-attack might be on here. If Burnley have committed a few different bodies forward, Coutinho plays it across to James Milner. Milner breaking forward. Firmino in acres of space. Roberto Firmino seals the game for Liverpool. A great goal. 2-0 to the good then. 89 minutes on the clock. Lovely little celebration for Firmino. The team looked pleased. A home win against Burnley. Dominated the game largely. Far more opportunities. Burnley didn't even register a shot on target so far, and there's not many minutes left to go. Firmino with the finish then. Lovely strike it was too, and it gives us what will hopefully be the win. 4 points for the league season so far, with 10 seconds to go. Robbie Brady tackled by Nathaniel Klein. Mane brings it away, and that, my friends, should well be that. James Milner with the final touches of the game. There it is then. Liverpool 2, Burnley 0 at Anfield. Really, really good 2-0 win. Team talk-wise, passionately, a very nice victory. Well done. Well managed, I'd like to think as well. I think we did a pretty good job there. Of course, Burnley, a team we should be beating, but I think the style in which we went about it was really, really positive, really, really good. So I enjoyed that. And I think actually that is going to bring an end to today's episode. If you've enjoyed this particular episode, do drop a like on the video. We'll be back next time, either with 2 matches or 1. Again, let me know in the comment section down below. We'll talk about Murillo, what we do with him, and let me know about what we think we should do with the left back issue we've currently got. So, comment section is where you can do all that. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and we love with care from me to Benji. Until next time, I'll see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.